Welcome back to Mass Effect 3. JC here, and it's the first Codex. The issue is that it says everything is new, including the stuff that we read in 1 and 2. I got around this last time by being able to just go mark all as viewed and then getting a load, but we got a whole load of entries as soon as we started actually playing the game, and I didn't push the button. So we're going to go look through it now. I'm going to mark them all as viewed. But I know there are some in there, so we'll have a little
Earth, the home world and capital of humanity, was enjoying a new golden age before the Reapers attacked.
Okay.
Disease, pollution, and other social ills were on the decline, thanks to technological advances and a wealth of resources from the colonies. Earth was an inspiration even to alien cultures, resulting in influence out of proportion with humanity's brief time on the galactic stage. The Reaper attack has put an end to any semblance of this former life. The great cities of Earth are storehouses of human DNA for the Reapers to harvest. Reaper gunships, capable of megaton-scale firepower, annihilated industrial centers in seconds. The militaries of Earth's disparate nation-states have retained only partial communication with the system's alliance fleets, leaving the planet's resistance efforts uncoordinated and vulnerable. The loss of the comm buoy network has cut off Earth's economy from the rest of the galaxy, sending shockwaves across galactic markets and a significant obstacle to receiving aid. Admiral Stephen Hackett is a decorated officer in the system's alliance, currently assigned to Arcturus Station on the far side of the Sol Relay. In the battle for the Citadel, Admiral Hackett commanded the 5th Fleet. Following that victory, he was promoted to head of the Alliance military. Hackett was born to a single mother in Buenos Aires in 2134. When his mother died in the pandemic of 2146, he was placed in the Advanced Training Academy for Juveniles, where his superior talents in science and leadership quickly became evident. Hackett enlisted in 2152, volunteering for high-risk missions to colonize space beyond the Sol Relay. He was commissioned as a 2nd lieutenant on Arcturus Station in 2156, and soon proved his ability in the First Contact War. His rare ascent from enlisted man to admiral remains an Alliance legend. Admiral David Edward Anderson is a career military officer in the system's Alliance Navy. Born in London in 2137, he later moved to Arcturus Station and became the first graduate of the Alliance's now renowned N7 Marine program. Anderson is one of the Alliance's most decorated Special Forces operatives and served with honor during the First Contact War. He was the original captain of the SSV Normandy before relinquishing command to his XO, Commander Shepard. After the Alliance victory in the Battle of the Citadel, Anderson briefly served as the Citadel's first human counselor. He soon became embroiled in a Cerberus plot to abduct his friend Kaylee Sanders, however, and learned that he was unable to live a life without action. He stepped down as counselor and returned to the military to prepare for the Reaper invasion. The Alliance Parliament named Donald Udina as his successor.
And there you go. When I said it doesn't matter who you pick, that's why. Because it just gets forced back to Udina no matter what. Little scumlord.
Dr. Liara Tassoni is an Asari information broker with a background in scientific research on Prothean technology. Born on Thessia in 2077, she is the only child of the late matriarch Benezia. Although mother and daughter became estranged in the years before Benezia was indoctrinated by the Reaper known as Sovereign. Tassoni is also a highly trained biotic who served under Commander Shepard aboard the SSV Normandy before the ship was destroyed in a collector attack. Before she became involved in galactic affairs, Dr. Tassoni spent 50 years researching the Protheans' technology and the mystery of their extinction. She now divides her time between uncovering Prothean ruins and consulting with noteworthy representatives of the various Citadel races. Major Caden Alenko is a human biotic and an officer in the Systems Alliance. He served as staff lieutenant under Commander Shepard on the SSV Normandy during the Battle of the Citadel, and now heads the Special Operations Biotics Division at the Alliance Warfare Center. An Alliance tribunal recently called on Alenko to testify about his experience with the Reapers. Alenko suffers from severe headaches because of the early model L2 biotic implants that he was given as a child. The L2 implants have since been discontinued due to the risk of crippling neurological damage. Flight Lieutenant Jeff "Joker" Moreau is a respected pilot with the Alliance Navy. Born and raised on Arcturus Station, he is widely considered to be the best helmsman in the Systems Alliance. Moreau enlisted with the Navy directly out of school and quickly gained the respect of his superiors. He served as pilot of both the Normandy SR-1 and its successor, the SR-2, and was at their respective helms during the Battle of the Citadel and the assault on the Collectors. Moreau suffers from Vrolik's syndrome, a rare debilitating disorder also known as brittle bone disease. Although melee combat applications for the Omni tool are almost as old as the device itself, the feature was largely unused prior to the Reaper invasion. The need to take on multiple husks in close quarters forced the Alliance to develop ways to enhance the tool's offensive capability. The most common melee design is the Omni Blade, a disposable silicon carbide weapon flash-forged by the tool's mini fabricator. The transparent, nearly diamond-hard blade is created and suspended in a mass effect field safely away from the user's skin. Warning lights illuminate the field so the searing hot blade only burns what it is intended to: the opponent. More technically adept soldiers frequently modify their Omni tools to maximize stopping power through electrical, kinetic, or thermal energy. Some troops integrate the weapon with their kinetic barriers, transforming the Omni tool into a wrist-mounted bludgeon. Others fabricate flammable gases, held in place by a mass effect field and ignited upon impact. All prove deadly surprises for opponents who expect a disarmed Alliance warrior.
Yes. That would be engineers, adepts. They modify theirs. Aha! This is going on about the troops, so we haven't done these. I do have to do some talking. Oh well, never mind. Cerberus Centurion. Centurions are Cerberus's frontline tacticians. They are meant to enact the elusive man's strategic goals. Although it is clear that they have leeway to adapt as an encounter develops. The only useful intelligence that the Alliance has gathered on Centurions relates to their armament. Each Centurion carries an M96 Matic heavy rifle modified to launch smoke grenades, leaving enemies vulnerable to crossfire. Guardians. Cerberus equivalent to human tanks are slow-moving soldiers who carry enormous polycrystalline composite shields. The weight of the shield requires an armoured suit equipped with hydraulic assist and a dedicated power supply. Combining this exceptional protection with a suit of enviro mapping systems, Guardians focus on flanking opponents to flush them out from cover. A Guardian's slow but relentless approach is intended to demoralize enemies as well as draw their fire, but rip away their shield and the Guardians become little more than cannon fodder. We've seen that. You stick a singularity behind them, whee! Or throw, knocks their shield aside, you plaster them one. Trooper, these are the real cannon fodder. Assault troopers are the backbone of Cerberus's forces. Those candidates who make it through the grueling basic training are submitted to an intensive psychological program that renders them fearless, disciplined, and unrelenting. Outfitted with custom-designed armor and rifles, these soldiers function with determined precision and practiced teamwork. The first to rush into a fight, assault troopers often work in tandem with more powerful units. They make strategic use of this scenario, keeping their opponents occupied until it is too late to react to the combined Cerberus force bearing down upon them. Or they go running headlong into a 3-man squad and get murdered. Because it's Commander Shepard and 2 others. Ah, yes, the Reaper War. That's it. The fall of Kashan. This is the Batarians' planets. Alright. For every 1,000 Batarian refugees, there are 1,001 stories about how the Reapers invaded the Batarian systems. A few elements are common to almost every version, however. The Reapers arrived first in the Vular system and immediately destroyed its communications network. The Hegemony's Department of Information Control blamed the loss of signal on space weather, but scrambled ships to the system nonetheless. Within a day, Reaper capital ships appeared in the Harassa system and descended on the Batarian homeworld Kashan. Headbutt. Why do you name these things so unpronounceably? Because they're aliens. Well, of course, that's the reason. Why didn't I think of that one? For all the rhetoric about the Hegemony's military prowess, their response to the Reapers was uncoordinated. Moments after the information minister took to the extranet and announced that unknown ships were destroying all space traffic near the planet, the defense minister declared there was no reason to panic. The planet's convoys were destroyed next, creating an ominous silence that has persisted ever since. Right. Fearing they were next, Batarian colonies across Hegemony space began evacuations. So many refugees poured into the human-occupied Exodus cluster that Systems Alliance officials at first thought the Batarians were invading. More systems have gone dark as their convoys were destroyed and millions more Batarians trapped on their planets sit waiting for the Reapers. We then move on to the fall of Earth. The Reapers took Earth in a matter of hours. The Alliance knew the first wave would arrive from Batarian space, but they were unprepared for the speed and scale of the attack. Basically because the Reapers targeted humans because, us. Basically. They had a bit of a thing between their teeth and they were going to take us out quick. The problem is it doesn't quite work the way I intend. The Reapers bypassed the 6th and 7th fleets at Terra Nova and Eden Prime, flying straight from relay to relay where they could neither be tracked nor intercepted. The tactic was unexpected, since the navies of organic species would never risk coming out of FTL within combat range or leaving enemies at their back to threaten their supply lines. Reapers don't have supply lines. At Arcturus Station, more than a dozen Reaper capital ships engaged the Alliance's 2nd, 3rd and 5th fleets. This was mere screening for the main force. Dozens more capital ships continued through the Charon Relay, where the 1st fleet had been lying in wait but was soon destroyed. The 4th fleet, near Earth, had a few minutes of advance warning. Stood no better chance. After destroying Earth's comm buoys, smaller Reaper destroyers wiped out all GPS and communications satellites in Earth's orbit and cut the undersea fiber optic cables that linked the continents. Earth's resistance now relies on outdated radio towers and a few quantum entanglement communicators whose matched pairs happen to be on the other continent or outside the Sol system. Communication is so limited that the fate of entire nations remains unknown. The capital ships bombarded defense installations and industrial centers, annihilating entire cities with populations in the low millions, including, Hamburg, Algebal, Fort Worth. Don't expect me to pronounce most of these. I've had enough problems recently with pronouncing foreign things. Meanwhile, Reaper destroyers descended into the atmosphere to melt roads and culture population centers with minimal loss of life, eh? Oh, and capture. I thought, why would you melt a population center with minimal loss of life? That doesn't make any sense. Well, that's because you missed the word, you muppet. Right, let's do that. Descend into the atmosphere to melt roads and capture population centers with minimal loss of life. It's because they want to harvest it. This is not an example of the Reapers being merciful. More likely, they are herding their prey to make the coming harvest that much easier. Yep. And this category will fill out with more as we go along. Equipment, body. Okay. I think we're done. I don't think I missed anything. I probably have missed stuff that we got, but from now on we won't miss any more Codex entries. Because, well, they'll be blinking. I won't miss them. So, yes. You'll probably find that some of the ones I've skipped over because, oh, we've read that, have had a small update at the bottom. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't read through everything again. That's what the previous sets were for. We'll get all of the new ones from this point forwards. As I said, they'll be blinking. It'll be really hard for me to miss them. So, on that note, thank you for watching. Until next time, this is JC.